Hello from South Korea. Today we are driving the all-new second generation 2027 Kia Seltos. Now, the first generation Kia Seltos has always been one of my favorite vehicles in this segment. I always found it to be super competitive. For this new second generation, they really upped the ante with this one, and I truly think it has what it takes to be a segment leader. So whenever there's a new generation of vehicle, it always gets bigger and boxier, and this one is no exception. It is longer, taller, wider. The wheelbase is bigger, and that's good news for you because that translates into more headroom, more cargo room, and more room for the passengers in general. I fit in pretty much any car, but my co-driver here is like 7'12". How tall are you?
6'6".
6'6", and he can't sit behind himself, but he has tons of headroom, and that's really, really good news. Even with this really great panoramic moonroof, there is still lots of room for his head to move around, so that's great. So the big news for this second generation model is first how it looks. It is a lot more aggro than it used to be. I really like it, and it looks a lot more like Kia's EVs, especially from the back. But I love this big bold grille in the front. It's really in your face, and I think it looks really cool. But the second big news is that this is the first time the Kia Seltos is available with a hybrid powertrain. Now, it does come with other two gas-only engines, and those are pretty much carryovers from the last generation. I always like the Seltos because you could get it with an upgraded 1.6 liter turbo, which gives it a bit more grunt. I think the hybrid version is going to be the one to get. So it starts with that 1.6 liter engine, naturally aspirated, and it combines it with Kia's really great hybrid system. And now the other news about the hybrids is that it now comes optional with an all-wheel drive system, and that adds an extra electric motor on the rear axle to give you that extra traction without any real penalty on your fuel economy. And I really love this setup because there's really no downside to it, and it also helps make the Kia Seltos a lot more competitive. At the moment, the only other competitor that comes with a hybrid setup would be the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. And just putting these two side by side, I can tell you that this one is much better because it feels a lot more premium. And I think that's really what Kia was going for the second generation model. Another thing the Seltos does that's pretty unique is that it pairs this hybrid system with a 6-speed automatic dual clutch transmission, and that's good news because it's not a CVT. A lot of other hybrids use CVT transmissions because it's more efficient, but I find that it really dulls the whole driving experience. So the fact that they have paired this hybrid with a more conventional transmission should help it feel more responsive and better to drive. And out here on the roads, I think it's pretty true. So there's not a lot of power right off the get-go, but I think passing power is totally fine. You know, going up a hill, it's obviously going to struggle a little bit, but in terms of driving dynamics, there's really no red flags here. I like the steering, the handling is nice and composed, it feels easy to maneuver, the visibility is great, really no red flags. But the big benefit is the fuel economy. So we've been driving the hybrid all day, a mixture of city and highway. We've done about 150 kilometers so far. And so far, we've been averaging 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers. And that is so efficient. And that is so much more efficient than the gas-powered one. So I'm really happy to see it. So going back to the interior, I think this Seltos really moves up market. It's a great interior. The hard plastic test reveals that there's a lot of softer plastics in here, a lot of soft touch materials, which I love to see. Again, in that Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid, everything is plastic and it's kind of gross. So it's really nice to see Kia putting some more effort into the materials used and also just the layout. It looks a lot more high-end. There's a lot of different textures and ambient lighting and a lot of different materials used. So it really looks nice in here. I love this chunky squared off steering wheel as well. And the best part about it is that they kept a lot of physical buttons in here, and that helps to make sure it is a lot more user-friendly than centralizing everything in a touchscreen. So this Seltos also has a lot more screen real estate than it used to. The screen itself is very responsive and bright. It's pretty user-friendly. But of course, it comes standard with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And I'm really happy to see a lot of features in here that I'm used to seeing in more expensive cars. Like, just as an example, this huge moonroof is one of them. You know, this car also has ventilated seats. I'm also happy to see other high-end features like a big and bright head-up display. There's also the ability to use your phone as a key, so digital keys are really great. Also, there's a lot more standard safety equipment than there was before. Like there is a standard junction turn assist, there are standard parking sensors in the front and rear, and they have really packed this thing full of all the safety features, and I think it's a suite that makes it a lot more competitive than a lot of the competitors out there. So of course, we haven't heard anything about pricing yet. Regular gas-powered models are expected to arrive in Canada this summer, and hybrid models are expected to arrive sometime in the fall. And I really think that if Kia prices the hybrid model right, that it truly has what it takes to become a segment leader. Just based on our time today, I really like what's going on here. You know, I like the previous Seltos generation so much that I convinced my mother-in-law to buy one, and she absolutely loves it. And I think what they're offering here really ups the game, makes it super competitive, and to be segment leading in this segment is a really big deal because the Seltos is one of Kia's most important models, and it's very obvious that they did everything they could to make sure this was super competitive.